The pycnogonas are creepy. They're sea spiders. They feed on cnidarians and they'll like suck out their insides. But I think they're great, especially the really big ones.
They're awesome. Yeah.
But they're nice and creepy.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not an cnidarian. I'll stop. Roger.
3 minutes.
Well, let's timer. I'm regretting not wearing my nudibranch.
Nudibranch November.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, let's do that. Nudibranch November. I'm just gonna be a nudibranch every day.
Do you go look for nudibranchs when you're off the ship? Like, can you do that snorkeling?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day. Went down to the water and went snorkeling, and I saw a nudibranch. It was white and black.
Oh, cool.
It was really cute.
That's really cool.
So I'm really excited to see more nudibranchs when we get back on shore.
Yeah.
And also like during the dives, but
never can get enough.
Yeah.
So a viewer is asking, why do we pause in the descent?
Oh, we're greasing the 681 cable.
Okay.
So we don't usually pause, but they just needed a moment to
Refill the grease
refill
bucket.
their grease bucket.
Yeah. Probably should have bumped it up a bit more for this dive.
You think they're gonna go down the winch pit and paint on grease too on the last wrap?
Maybe.
Though I've got to say the fleece leggings were definitely the move. I was really having trouble last cruise staying warm, but that definitely helps. I think it's funny though that I had to pack for like high summer and winter at the same time. Oh, getting there.
Thank you. So again, to all of our new listeners and viewers, we are currently 5 nautical miles east of the northeastern corner of Bubble Top Island. And we launched the ROVs at around 12 p.m. local time, where we expect to reach a max depth of 3,800 meters. Right now we are around 2,960 meters, so just a little bit more to go.
Going down.
So I believe we have about 25 minutes or so until we reach the bottom. That would be around 2:45 to 2:50 p.m. local time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. We got just under 800 meters to go. For those who are watching closely, when we go down, it's about 30 meters per minute, or half a meter a second. And that's pretty consistent. Now there's always, once we reach the seafloor, for those who are new to our operation, the first order of business is, once acquiring bottom, there are pilots, front row, take a few minutes to pass through a series checks, white balance the camera, so there's always some time of just making sure everything is working. And then once all those checks pass, that's when we'll start our survey. The course of action here in terms of our science plan is, so once we acquire bottom and complete all the checks, the first order of business will be to collect a environmental DNA sample. And that will be the deepest sample that is yet collected for the Palau International Coral Reef Center monitoring program. And then once that Niskin bottle has been secured and we've collected a sample, we'll start making our way up the slope. For those who are scientists ashore and have seen the science plan, we have a pretty ambitious plan. So we're hoping to go up a vertical relief about 1,000 meters, so climb from 3,800 meters just to about just under 3,000 meters, but in a horizontal distance covering over 2.5 kilometers. So yeah, just jumping back here on the dive plan. So we have a very ambitious plan of covering about 2.5 kilometers and doing that in about 11 hours of bottom time, a little more perhaps, maybe 12 hours on bottom. So we'll have to cover ground. And as I alluded to earlier, that the densities of animals are going to be lower than what we've seen. I mean, that's what we expect, but we'll try to cover as much ground. Now, the real purpose of this dive is to bridge previous surveys and fill that large gap in depth distribution of previous surveys and try to understand what's in between them. And so, yeah, we'll be obviously trying to cover ground, but also getting some good close-up views of some of the habitats and species that we see on this dive. And then looking up ahead, so the ROVs are going to be secured on depth at about 4 a.m. local time here in Palau. After that, we'll have a personal transfer, so we'll be swapping out a couple of our science team members and crew members. So we'll be coming close to the harbor to complete that transfer. And once that is complete, we'll have a bit of a longer transit. So it's about an 8-hour transit going to the easternmost extent of the Palau Exclusive Economic Zone. So the very easternmost corner of the, there's a seamount there that has never been mapped, never been surveyed, so we'll be taking about an 8-hour transit to go over there, probably spending about 4 to 6 hours to map that seamount. And then once we have that very good map, then we'll dive on it. We expect a depth of about 1,600 meters. And so, yeah, and we'll kind of have that same kind of cadence here, going then to the next site, doing some mapping, and then doing about a half a day or 12-hour dive. And we'll be doing that daily through November 7th, then be coming into port for a few days, and then doing it all over again from November 11th to 22nd. It's 12-hour dives, punctuated, and then with 6 to 10 hours of mapping and transiting to the next site.
Just the WCAs doing their thing. That's annoying.
So, the only question is the obvious one. Is it losing volume or are you just very, very
Yeah, it's been steadily decreasing. So, because we're going deeper.
uh,
Yeah. Also, this keeps happening too.
doing that?
Yeah.
So how far are we from the slope? We're going down to 38?
38.
Okay. Are we losing any of the others? Or is everything else pretty steady?
Everything else is pretty steady. Maybe res has been steadily dropping too, but
My first determination was to stop sending and start flash. So we can actually see whether we're losing volume or not. And maybe we don't need to. I'm gonna talk to about that.
Bridge nav. We're going to make a really large move. We'd like to move 680 meters at 280 at 1 knot. Yeah.
Mark down what our exact depth is, so we how far we've reached.
Yes, thank you.
Megan, quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you just moving us due west, or you're heading basically for waypoint?
I'm heading for waypoint 2.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Just a quick note here for our scientists ashore. So we are troubleshooting. Was issued on the descent, and we're currently just heading due west. So we are trying to see if by coming slightly shallower that addresses the issue. So the plan is currently not to go down. For those that've seen the dive plan, so not to acquire bottom at waypoint 5 over 3,800 meters, but instead move near shore and shallower and see if that addresses the issue. So just hang tight.
Thinking about Daniel, you're back there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty comfortable at about 3,000 meters depth. We've just under 1 psi on the main comp, which allows us to see whether there's a trend and it's decreasing or increasing. So um, we're happy at this depth, and we can find the bottom here, if that works.
That sounds great.
All right.
Thanks, Jake. So it looks like we will be heading towards waypoint 5, thereabouts.
It's quite the haul.
That's a journey.
Yeah.
waypoint 5 is our last waypoint for the dive, so.
So,
Do you need updated? I can work with Rennie to come up, but I mean
Oh, we can just go for it.
yeah.
I don't think we need waypoints.
Yeah. I mean, we'd basically just continue
Just go
that
up slope.
Yep, just follow the steepest slope up. But if you just wanted a kind of just placeholder, I can generate some here on the fly, just if you need it, Megan.
Oh, I
I mean,
think I'll just have us going up with the up the chute the way Jeff wanted.
Yep,
Just
perfect.
come this way. Hey, Rennie, what's up? Um,
that's going to be, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could potentially just save a little bit of time by just going due west instead of like slightly northwest, but I don't think it matters, so that way at least. I mean, and I know Jeff wanted to this kind of somewhat canyony feature to just stay within it, so yeah, so let's keep. Yeah, what's the different stat versus going to waypoint 4? Yeah, let's just keep it that way. We have the go up that feature. Yeah. That's 1,200 meters. Okay. So if my math is right here, about 1,200 meters and of half a knot should be about 40 minutes to acquire waypoint 4. Roger that. Thanks. Yeah, so just an update here for our scientists ashore and people that have been following along with the dive plan and people on the ship as well. So we were descending the vehicles and at around 3,400 meters as we're going down, we started losing compensation pressure on the vehicle, and so the plan now is basically not to continue down and basically continue at this depth. So currently we're at a depth of about 3,000 meters. We are basically hovering above what was about waypoint 1, but we're going to be towing the vehicles near shore to what was waypoint 4 and start the dive there. It is a lengthy transect. It's about 1,200 meters in horizontal distance that we have to tow, and you can tow really fast to avoid putting too much tension on the cables in the system. So we're going to be towing at about half a knot speed, and so that should be about 40 minutes or so of time just to get to the area that we want, and then obviously settle in and make some additional time. So stand by. So hopefully if everything goes well, we should be arriving to our waypoint around 4 o'clock local time, so about a little over 40 minutes from now, and then proceed with a dive. We'll keep you updated as things progress.
So to all of our new listeners and viewers, the site that we are at is roughly 5 nautical miles east of the northeastern corner of Babeldaob Island. This is just off of Nguralong State. Nguralong is the northernmost state of the big island of Babeldaob. And in this area, the island slopes steeply from the reef and into the Palau Trench. There's been very limited research or surveys done in the area before. One was with the manned submersible limiting factor, which surveyed the Palau Trench at depths down to 7,200 to 8,000 meters. And another survey that was done by the National Geographic drop cameras, which surveyed depths between 40 and 1,800 meters. And so for today's dive, even though we will not reach the initial depths of 3,800 meters, we will still be exploring areas that have never been explored before. I see we have friends tuning in from American Samoa. So Ali and Talofa, please stay tuned as we're making this transit into waypoint 4. That is in about 40 minutes or so until we'll begin our dive at about 3,000 meters. Also to our viewers, if you are watching on nautiluslive.org, the website is currently under some maintenance. So it is showing that the ship's location is in port, back in Koror. And yes, after all the maintenance will be done, like those issues will be resolved. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, while we're waiting here, since you mentioned it, Imade, so just a shout out to some very important partners who are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. It includes Ben Kane and Paul Johnson, who have been building a whole infrastructure to help us get the data and visualize it and get it out to our partners and our participants quicker. So this year, for the first time, we started including a real-time map on our website. We had a version of this that was already available to our scientists ashore. This year we have a public-facing version that basically allows people to see in real time where we are and provide some contextual information. So that's the first step, and we have several other things happening behind the scenes. So pretty soon they'll be also linked to our websites, the data sets. So we've had, this is expedition number 167, so 166 expeditions that have been archived, and so we're working on a public-facing part of our website with links to all those data sets that were collected on previous expeditions. Also a dashboard that allows you to view summary information. So a huge thank to the people behind the scene there, Ben Kane, Paul Johnson, and Todd Viola. In addition to our very hardworking and talented education outreach team who have also provide the backbone for all of this. Our mission is not just scientific exploration, but making that data accessible and understandable to viewers and audiences of all ages is a big part of our mission. We want to demystify science to some extent and make sure that the work we do here is relevant to all of our viewers.
So while we're waiting, there is a question that came in for myself and Maikani. The question is, what has been the most surprising thing about being on the ship for the first time? So I guess I could start. There's been a lot of surprising things for me. In addition to all the science and the dives that we were conducting, I also did not expect to eat this good on the ship. I definitely packed a lot of snacks, thinking I will miss like a lot of different comfort foods back home. But the chefs really are amazing, and we get 3 meals a day, buffet style, all sorts of delicious foods, and I did not expect that for this trip.
I always get overexcited the first couple of days and just eat way too much and then regret it. There's too many options.
So the question is, what has been the most surprising thing about being on the ship for the first time?
I mean, besides what we see underwater, which I think is like really, really cool, especially our first dive, because I didn't expect to see the deep sea so vibrant and I said that it's just as beautiful as the reefs that we see on a day-to-day basis. But one thing I did not expect was for all of us Palauans to get seasick. I think like the first couple of days we were just like drinking Dramamine and like laying down because we were all so seasick and everybody was doing fine. And I'm like, wow, leave it to the islanders who like live on this ocean to be the most seasick people on the ship.
I didn't know you guys got seasick.
That
We,
is true.
we
Yeah.
did.
It's just bad luck. It's luck of the draw whether or not you get seasick.
I mean, at one point, me and Lottie were like, can you overdose on Dramamine? Because we were just like chugging them down. But yeah, I think everything that we've experienced on the ship was pretty amazing. And I'm really looking forward to the next week. I think we have like one more week left on the ship. So I'm really looking forward to learning new things.
You're also, like when you're in the control van, you're in like a moving thing on top of a ship that you can't see the horizon, and that makes it hard on people too, especially if
Oh,
you've
yeah.
never done that.
Yeah.
But it's a sea
Seasickness is
state for
such-
everyone, right?
Yeah, seasickness is such a luck of the draw.
It really is. And we got the bad luck.
I know
So-
someone who grew up on sailboats, and they're one of the most seasick people ever.
Mm,
So, just bad luck.
yeah. But yeah.
There, now people can hear me. Had my first bout of it this summer, like the last 3 years, and I, was always out on fishing boats before, but on the Great Lakes, but I've never experienced it until just one cruise this summer. Went out, and when I was on the back of the boat, I was totally fine. But when I would go up to, to like make my bed and everything else, in my room, I would be so sick, and then I'd walk back to my work area, be totally fine.
There's like tons of other factors too. Like if you smell diesel around a boat, that can really hit
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Um,
Diesel does not help.
Yeah, there's just lots of things. And different boats affect different people, like different wave motion affects
Computer
different
screens.
people. Computer screens, yeah. All the things in this van.
Yeah. Sometimes your chair, it doesn't stay very stable.
No.
That can definitely help. You're like sitting in a chair and it just kind of bounces up and down.
So Daniel, a viewer is asking if this will be the only time that the ship is the closest to land while exploring.
Yeah, so this is for these expeditions the only target that is within state waters of Palau, and so all the other dives and mapping operations are going to be out in the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, so further offshore. We do have tomorrow, so we'll be diving today here, about 5 nautical miles. Tomorrow we are doing a personnel transfer, so we'll be going close to shore, but not to do any explorations, just to swap out a few of our scientists and crew. And then all of the targets are going to be offshore on the second leg of the expedition, so that leaves November 11th. We will have another personnel transfer that will bring us, so we'll start the expedition, go out for a few days, and then come close to shore just to do another personnel transfer. But yeah, for the vast majority of these expeditions, we are centering our work in the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, so those waters that are outside territorial waters. And this is because this expedition is being funded as a contribution to the U.S. commitment made at the Our Oceans Conference here in 2022, co-hosted by the government of Palau and the government of the United States. A great meeting where heads of state came together to talk and discuss how to address climate change and other issues that affect all of the areas here. And one of the commitments that was made there, among many, many others, was support to help ocean mapping of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, and this is how this expedition was funded. And so we are trying to maximize as much time as possible within the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. And I should mention that in addition to the 2 expeditions that the Ocean Exploration Trust and EV Nautilus is very proud to be part of this year, there will be additional expeditions to the Palau National Marine Sanctuary next year that will bring NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research. Their vessel, Okeanos Explorer, is also planning to conduct a series of expeditions here to also map and explore within the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. And so there's a lot more exploration to come for those of you who are just starting to get excited about this type of work. It's very exciting that there is been a concentration of efforts here in Palau. We've talked quite a bit about the National Geographic Pristine Seas work that was ongoing here in February and March. There was a couple of expeditions that used various different technologies, including remotely operated vehicles, a slightly shallower system, as well as baited cameras. Now this expedition here aboard Exploration Nautilus and additional ones to come. And so it's exciting. It's a great step in the right direction. There's still so much left to be explored. 70% of the exclusive economic zone of Palau has not yet been mapped with modern technologies. So these expeditions holistically will start making some progress towards mapping and characterizing the great unknown that exists. And not just gaining knowledge, but also gaining appreciation and awareness and sharing that with the public. It is a great gift to Palau and gift to the world to have protected this very special place that is the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, closing this area to extractive activities like fishing and mining, and large marine protected areas are really important. So in contrast to some of the smaller marine protected areas, which are also important for various other reasons, but when you protect a very large area like this, you are protecting a whole suite of ecosystems. In some cases, you're protecting species throughout their entire life history. So it's you protect them, you safeguard them against just leaving the MPA and then being caught outside. But in addition to that, you have very positive effects, not just for those ecosystems that you protect, but the adjacent ones. There's often spillover effects of these things, and it's a really important thing. And obviously, you need to understand what is within your marine protected area to properly manage that. Here in Palau, there's a rich and long history of conserving and protecting ecosystems. The practice of the bull has been something that has been passed on generations for centuries to millennia. So this practice of closing an ecosystem and then waiting how it recovers, and then at the right time, considering opening it up again, and then that way just providing enough time for things to recover and spill over.
And so once we begin the dive, is the first order of business still to collect the eDNA samples?
Yes. So for all the dives, I think that's the first thing that we're gonna do. We wanna collect sample at the deepest part of our dive, and then make our way through the increment depths that we already set.
While we're waiting here, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge and thank our scientists ashore. Really appreciate you tuning in from all over the world. So we have, even though we're haven't yet even begun exploring the seafloor, we already have a nice group joining us via our OET Science portal. So this is a tool that was developed several years ago that allows scientists ashore to not just view the video, but also access various other data streams that are coming from the ship, and a chat that is connecting us and putting us in direct communications with them. So we have currently folks, we have Aaron Judah from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, Asako Matsumoto from the Chiba Institute of Technology in Japan, Dr. Christopher Kelly, formerly at the University of Hawaii of Manoa, Ikelao Otto here at the Palau International Coral Reef Center, James Reimer at the University of Ryukyus, Jonathan Womack, independent researcher, Kurt Bryant Bachara, new face here, thanks Kurt, also from the University of Ryukyus, and Santiago Herrera from Lehigh University, and Steve Askovich from the National Museum of Natural History, the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. So thank you so much for joining us. It's really wonderful to have this model of telepresence exploration. That's how we operate, and so basically transmitting not just the video but data in almost real time to people from all over the world, and allowing more than just the 52 people that we have physically spaced here on board to be part of the mission team. And that just allows us to harness the intellectual capacity of the 8 billion people we have on this planet. When you do exploration, it's guaranteed that at some point of that endeavor you will come across something that you have never seen before and that the people in the room have never seen before. And by having telepresence, it allows us to call up on our friends, phone a friend, and engage them. And this is wonderful. We have doctors on call. So very similar to a hospital where when go into the emergency room in the middle of the night. Now they have some staff doctors there, but they also have a whole suite of doctors on call that are not physically in the hospital, but then when they receive a call that there's an emergency of some specialty that currently the doctor is not in the hospital, they call that doctor, and within a few minutes that doctor will then make their way to the hospital and help. We have a very similar model in that when we come across something that we have not seen and that no one in our mission team on board knows what it is, we have a Rolodex of contacts of different specialties covering all different disciplines, and we then can call that person, tell them to please open their laptop, go to our website, and see exactly what we're seeing on the ship and help us interpret and guide that mission. So it's a really powerful tool. And so, yeah, this telepresence space model is not just a wonderful tool for outreach education as we use it continuously, allowing everyone to be part of the mission, but using it also for a scientific tool in that it really allows us to go much deeper, and it allows us to do both very technical things, so bringing along experts from very different disciplines, but also allowing us to do work in a more interdisciplinary nature. And that's what we also pride ourselves, is that the best science is all of it, and not just science, it's all the different forms of knowledge. We all have something to contribute, and that's where the magic happens. And when you have people from different backgrounds and different knowledge bases, when you start working together and realizing that we're all just looking at the same problem but have a slightly different language in cases, or a slightly different focus, that's where you typically have the big advances. So we're just so grateful for all of you for joining us, and hope you continue joining us here for the next 3 weeks as we're exploring Palau, and in the next several expeditions. We really appreciate each and every one of his contributions to this broader mission of exploring and gaining a more holistic knowledge of the great unknown that is our ocean. So thank you so much.
That was really lovely.
All right, so what's the weirdest flavor of ice cream you've tried?
Ugh, black licorice.
That's pretty weird.
I think mine would be the cherry blossom flavor. I was in Japan.
Sounds good.
It sounds good. I was in Japan traveling, but it wasn't so good.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Did it smell good?
There was no scent, but it was pink.
There.
I recently tried corn and cheese ice cream.
Ew.
It was actually pretty good, surprisingly. It sounds weird, but I feel like it was success, yeah.
I've been watching like TikToks of people going to this garlic festival, and there's apparently a garlic ice cream,
Ooh.
and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, like if it was like a roasted garlic, so it was a
Yeah, it
little bit
probably would,
sweet. Yeah, I feel like that could work.
I adore garlic. You can never have too much garlic, but I cannot wrap my brain around garlic and ice cream.
I know.
Like your garlic being cold.
I just
Just
I love
those
ice
two
cream so
things should be
much, and I love
separate,
garlic.
yeah.
I can't imagine them together.
Right?
Yeah.
It could be the best thing ever.
It
Is
could
ice
be.
cream?
Yeah.
It's not ice cream day today.
Okay, what's everybody's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Mine would be anything with coffee. So espresso chip or like mocha would be my favorite.
That sounds good.
Anything with like fudge in it. We've got a really good like local ice cream maker, and it's so good. Like moose tracks and stuff.
Oh, I love moose tracks. I really like green tea ice cream.
Oh, that's very good.
How many weird ice creams have you had?
How many different kinds?
It's like, yeah.
I don't know. That was not something that I wrote
I
down.
need you to write it down. Tally it.
There's this Filipino ice cream company called Magnolia, and they make a lot of really fun, interesting
Magnolia.
ice cream flavors, like ube, like the sweet potato ice
Ooh,
cream.
I love ube.
Oh, so good. Especially the ube with the coconut.
That sounds really good.
Did you say sweet potato ice cream?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be like one of the strangest I've ever heard of.
You should
Oh, it's so good. You should
Oh,
try it.
That
And it's
garlic
purple.
ice cream, that's
Another favorite's like pumpkin ice cream. That's really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
I mean, I get me a banana split anytime I can.
Okay, what's the first treat you have after you're like on a long expedition? We have such good food here. I feel like you don't miss too many things.
I'm going to get poke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sushi.
Ooh.
Or a big greasy cheeseburger.
A nice piece of pizza.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yes, pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza and a milkshake.
I don't know. I probably have like fish and rice.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sounds very
Yeah.
loud.
Well, that's what I said I was going to have, so.
I'm so unhealthy.
Like some
Okay,
pulao,
well.
cooked fish and rice or something.
Yeah, sushi.
Yeah, fish and rice.
That was my first
Pizza.
one.
Sticking to basics.
Everybody's like, fish and rice.
Yeah, pizza's, I want to say, is one that like the team or who I've gone out with, this is something we usually get immediately.
That sounds really good. I've got another one. What's your like one item you bring on board? Like your, what's the right word for your comfort item or your food treat that you bring on board?
Oh, I brought a lot of treats,
Guilty pleasure.
but I brought these things that I would not share with you. Is these Trader Joe's peanut butter and chocolate like Dunkaroo situation. I had one last night on mapping lunch. Fantastic.
I feel like I usually bring a bag of peanut butter M&Ms. I did not this time. The only thing I brought with me are some greens.
Yep. Peanut M&Ms, sour candy. Yeah. Stuff that was pretty.
Did you say you brought some greens?
Yeah, they're like powder greens for in the morning.
Oh, okay.
I take them first thing, so I'm like,
I thought
get
like
all my
spinach.
nutrients.
Thinking vegetables.
So I get all my nutrients, because sometimes when you go to sea and it's like, you're out there for quite a while, you run out of a lot of like fresh veggies and fruits
Yeah.
and stuff, so I still get all of that from the greens, so.
I'll just
Well,
bring
that's
like
smart.
a head of lettuce and Big thing of broccoli.
Oh, spinach.
Spinach.
Well, and then we've got our three-dimensional pineapples. That's what I brought for everybody to share. Three-dimensional.
They're really delicious.
I think it's the 3D aspect. That's what makes them best. Yeah.
They were
Well, they were
pretty good.
Yeah, they have a good texture.
Yeah. Ooh, imagine them with some like lihing mui,
Oh,
Maggie
yeah.
bomb.
Oh, you want some? Here.
Ah! Thank you.
Those are my second favorite gummies. They're the lychee lihing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
So
so
good.
bomb.
You gotta bring your Hawaiian snacks with you. I also always bring tea.
What kind?
I brought chai tea and chamomile
Ooh,
this time.
good call.
I know that this ship has like 3 different kinds of English breakfast, so I don't ever bring that.
Yeah, there's no like non-caffeinated.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, and it just sometimes I don't want caffeinated tea at like 2 in the
A nice
morning.
mint tea and yeah, that'd be good.
I turned it on. Yeah, it's on. It's on. Norby's on. You getting spalled?
Hey Nav, just checking in. Do you have an updated ETA to waypoint 4?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Sure, thanks.
Maybe an hour? I think we're, once we get settled here, I think we're going to try to speed the ship up, though, so it could be a little less.
Okay.
But it's going to take a little bit to get this swing out and all that. So.
Yeah, I was looking at you got almost 200 meters of layback already.
Yeah.
Okay, we were, no problem. It is what it is. I'm just surprised we were told 40 minutes ago we'd be there, but I definitely see where we are on the map, so somebody did bad math. All right, sounds good, thanks. Well, good afternoon everyone and welcome to the 48 watch as we enjoy some beautiful blue water here. The vehicle's holding steady right around 3,000 meters. And as we move over to make contact with the western wall of the trench here. But if you change your heading, the flagging will be reduced too.
Ali, and good afternoon for our viewers that are watching. The team is currently working on getting the ROVs to waypoint 4. We are currently 5 nautical miles on the east of Bab el-Dab, and this area is roughly on the east of the northern east corner of Bab el-Dab, where the island slope steeps from the reef to the Palau Trench. As we make our way to waypoint 4, we are at about 3,000 meters. And we just had a watch change, so we got in the front row, we have Chris as the navigator. We got Dan, the Hercules pilot. We got Jaden as the Atalanta pilot. We got Amber, the video engineer. In the back row, if we're all free, maybe we can introduce ourselves while the ROV pilots figure out our travel.
Sure, thanks a lot, Al. Hi everyone, I'm Brian Kennedy. I'm a deep sea mythic ecologist and chief scientist at the Ocean Discovery League. I am one of the science leads and the 4-day watch lead.
Hello everybody, my name is Harold Carlson. I'm a PhD student in oceanography at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, also a deep sea ecologist, and I'm in the science chair for this watch.
Aline, hello everyone, I'm Ayla, and I'm a Marine Lakes Research Assistant at the Coral Reef Research Foundation, and I'll be the data logger for the next few hours.
And we have a special guest here.
Thank you, and this is former Congressman John Culberson, here on my 9th expedition on board the Nautilus, longtime supporter of the work that this extraordinary organization and others are doing to explore uncharted portions of the oceans and identify new species, new geologic features, and pleased to be here to help be part of the science commentary crew interacting with the public on the World Wide Web.
Thank you, we're happy to have you.
Thank you. And my name is Elle. I'm from Palau, and I'm the Science Communications Fellow on this voyage. And I have a question for us in the back row. What has been your favorite organism that we've seen so far?
I'm a big fan of some of the really pretty gold corals or chrysogorgids. So we saw, the first dive, we saw a lot of different species of Iridogorgia and Chrysogorgia and all in that same kind of family. And those, I think so far this expedition have been my favorite. What about you, Harold?
That's really between two things. I'm a bit torn. On the very first watch, on the first dive, we came across the egg case of what's likely a deep water skate. And this egg case was almost the size of my hand, bigger. And that was a really incredible find because that's, I was sort of interested in maybe hopefully seeing fish eggs of some kind on this expedition, but my hopes were very low. So to see that on the very first dive on my watch was pretty incredible, and we collected the sample and super curious to figure out what it is once it gets over to the museum collection.
How
the
big
benthic
was that?
ctenophores were really cool as well.
How big is that egg case?
The egg case was probably greater than 7 inches in length, I would say. It was pretty sizable. It was like a really big mango.
Nice comparison.
And it was unhatched as well. There was not a super developed embryo inside as far as we could tell, but it was a...
Is that size normal for skate egg cases?
I don't have a great answer. I know there's quite a range in sizes, but there are some quite large species of deep water skate, so they can lay pretty big eggs. And the eggs themselves actually take years to incubate. They're some of the longest incubation periods of any egg-laying animal.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Thank you.
So a little explanation of what's going on right now. We were on our way down to do a deep dive with a target depth of almost 4,000 meters, and we got down a little below 3,000, and one of the oil compensators on the ROV started getting low pressure, and that's a function of depth. And so the vehicle's all happy and healthy at this depth, but we can't go much deeper. So we're doing a mid-water transit over into a shallower depth, where we'll make contact with the bottom and start our exploration there at about 3,000 meters. It's going to be a good little while. We're making really fast transit by ship with ROV and water speed standards, but it's still on the slower side. And then once the ship even gets there, we've got a lot of layback in the cable that the vehicles are going to have to swing into position. So we've got a good little wait here, probably somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, before we'll be on the sea floor ready to start operations. So it doesn't mean we can't find interesting things in the water column as we move along. And feel free to send us questions now. This is a great time for us to take the time to answer any of your questions for those of you watching.
Ellen, I liked your question too about what was the most interesting creature that we've seen so far. I was especially charmed with the hermit crab that adopted a sea anemone as a friend. It was using it as a defense, and the sea anemone was attached to its back and helped form its shell to protect the hermit crab, and the anemone benefits by getting scraps of food when the crab eats. And the other one that I thought was particularly interesting and charming was the carrying crab that was actually carrying a sea anemone on its back, holding it. And that's apparently common to that species. I understand, Brian, Harold, all of you, that the experts in this, that those carrying crabs will grab something and carry it on their backs with them throughout their lives. In this case, it was an anemone. I heard one of y'all mention you've seen a carrying crab carrying around a piece of garbage on its back, because it's like like a teddy bear, like it's a comfort to the creature. Anyway, I thought those two were particularly charming and interesting.
Yeah, thank you, John. Ayla?
Yeah, I think we've seen some really cool stuff, a lot of different corals. I think one thing that I really enjoyed was that a rat-tailed fish that we were just following around a little bit. That was kind of cool. Also seeing some of the really small organisms living on tiny corals too. I thought that was pretty interesting. And yeah, but of course I also want to share that it was really sad to see some debris, but it's reality that it's everywhere.